The dude is a straight up ball hogging machine. If it's a run play, boom, he's going to fill the gap. If it's a pass play, I've seen him jump a ton of routes. Every single person told me, yeah, man, this dude, Caleb Downs, he's just on another level. He is a special and rare talent. Guys like this, you get them about once every 10 to 15 years. I don't really feel like doing an intro. We're just going to dive straight into this. So all throughout the offseason, what has been the biggest question mark around this Alabama football team? The quarterback position. Even below casual football fans, they would know that. And I know what you're sitting there saying, Matt, are you really going to talk about the quarterback situation? And no, I'm not. What we're here to talk about is a said player on the Alabama team and not even on the offensive side of the ball. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. We're going to show some love to the defense today. More importantly, we're going to talk about a kid who has been standing out and he's turning a lot of heads, including Nick Saban's. And Nick Saban has even stated, quote unquote, he's good at everything. And by the way, guys, I'm going to throw this in there, a little disclaimer. He's a true freshman. I don't care if you're a super senior. If Nick Saban says you're good at everything, yeah, you got to be good. But the fact Nick Saban said this about a true freshman, you don't hear that every day. It's very rare to see Nick Saban talk this highly of a freshman, and I think a main reason and counterpart of that is because Saban doesn't want to boost their egos, considering most of these freshmen Alabama gets are 4- and 5-star recruits. Their ego is already high enough. But with this young man, he's so good, Nick Saban had no other choice than to give him his flowers this early on, and I respect it. This also reminds me of a similar situation years, and I mean many years ago. Alabama had a true freshman defensive back coming in, and Nick Saban, he talked about him the same way. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu here because Nick Saban even talked about this said freshman years ago and stated the same stuff. He's good at everything and he can play anywhere on the field. And when I say anywhere on the field, I mean anywhere in the secondary. My apologies. If you don't know who that said player I'm referring to was years ago, it was no other than Minkah Fitzpatrick. And whoo, man, oh man, mama, there goes that man. That is one of my favorite Alabama players of all time. I know he gets a ton of respect and credit, so I'm not going to call him underrated, but man, that dude was unreal. He had an uncanny ability I haven't seen since he's left the University of Alabama. And that ability was no other than no matter where the football was thrown, he was around it. Kirby Smart, and yes, that's right, Kirby Smart, this is back when he was at Alabama, he put Minkah Fitzpatrick everywhere on the field. And it didn't matter where Minkah Fitzpatrick was, he somehow got an interception. And to go on top of that, he's always making great plays, high IQ player. You know how good Minkah Fitzpatrick is. I'm not going to sit up here and hype him up. And there was one game, was it against A&M, where he had, was it 3 pick sixes? No. He had 2 and Eddie Jackson had the other one. I could sit up here for the next 20 minutes and talk about Minkah Fitzpatrick and his glory days. Bottom line is, he was a dog and I miss him. In today's video, though, we're here to talk about this new defensive back who is already looking like the next Minkah Fitzpatrick. Shall I say, and dare I say, that Alabama's already found their new Minkah Fitzpatrick? It's looking like it. I'm going to assume that maybe only 10 to 15% of you have even heard of this guy. I've been following up with him since Bama's recruiting him. He goes by the name of Caleb Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you don't know the name, remember the name. Caleb Downs. I said that slowly because I want you to hear me clearly. This kid will be an X factor on the field for Alabama, and he's going to be one of the best defensive backs in the entire SEC. Mark it down. Do I care that he's a true freshman? No, I don't. Some guys in this life, they have the it factor, and Caleb Downs, he has it. And yet again, I'm going to divert back to this. If you don't want to take my word for it, that's cool. But Nick Saban has even stated the kid is good at everything. Do what you please with that information. If you think I'm overhyping him, I beg to differ. I was talking to one of my sources yesterday, and a little fun fact for you. In Alabama's last fall practice, it was stated that Caleb Downs, he showed out, and he was the best player on the field. And I'm just scrolling on Twitter right here. I'm going to show you this random picture. This is Caleb Downs, guys. I'm going to ask you a question. Does this look like the body frame of a true freshman? I don't think so. This guy's built like Jalen Milroe. This guy looks like an NFL defensive back. I mean, come on now. You see the same thing I'm seeing, right? The dude looks juiced up. And that's why I personally feel like he's going to fit in the SEC perfectly. He's not going to skip a beat because he has the body frame. A reason a lot of these 5-star recruits don't play as true freshmen is because they're not physically ready for SEC football, whereas Caleb Downs is. If I haven't clarified this enough already, Caleb Downs is a defensive back, but you'll see him do everything Minkah Fitzpatrick did. You'll see him play safety, cornerback, nickel, wherever. And even in high school, I'm going to show you some of his highlights or all of his highlights in this video like I normally do. He played quarterback. And a couple days ago when I was talking to my sources that were just telling me how the quarterback situation was going and how just the team in general looks, every single person I talked to at that Alabama practice told me that Caleb Downs, he's way ahead of the game. Every single person told me, yeah, Matt, this dude, Caleb Downs, he's just on another level. And we don't have a lot of film to go off of. I've watched all of his high school film, and the thing that stands out the most to me, at least at the high school level, is his ability to react. And I'm going to beat this into your head, and I know you guys are probably sick and tired of it. It is so similar to Minkah Fitzpatrick. How do I put this into a perspective so you guys can understand and relate? It's almost like Caleb Downs knows what play is going to happen before they snap the ball. He is reacting about a second faster than every single other person on the defense. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but a second matters a ton at the SEC level. The dude is a straight up ball hogging machine. If it's a run play, boom, he's going to fill the gap. If it's a pass play, I've seen him jump a ton of routes. And what's really interesting about it, to me at least, is I don't know if that's from film study with him jumping routes, or I don't know if that's just from him being a natural athlete. You could really chop it up to either or, and I'm sure he'd tell you it's film study, but we all know sometimes it's just athletes being athletes. Would I label him a gambler? Not really, but I think he takes calculated risk at times. I think a great example is Tyrann Mathieu. Y'all remember the Honey Badger, right? Tyrann Mathieu, what made him so electric? He took a lot of calculated risk and gambles. Did he jump some routes and get some pick sixes? Yeah. Did he get burned every now and then? Yeah, that's what happens. He was a high-risk, high-reward player. Now, I wouldn't put Caleb Downs in that same, I guess you'd say, conversation, but you see what I'm saying. And from what I've heard, he doesn't take a lot of risk in practice. He just plays solid defense, and he makes the right play when he needs to. If he feels like he can jump a route, he'll do it, but if he doesn't feel like he can, no, he's not going to. No joke, I could sit up here for the next 10 minutes and tell you guys how much I love this kid's game and how good he's going to be, but I just want to put this out there before the season starts. I want all my Alabama fans, and not just Alabama fans, screw that, I want all my college football fans to know that Caleb Downs is the real deal. I am putting you on notice right now before the season starts. And also I'm making this video so people can't say I jumped on the hype train. I've been actually thinking about this. I don't know why I've even made a video on the situation. I guess I've just kind of put it off, but I'm still getting it out there before everybody knows who Caleb Downs is. Mark it down. This kid will be a first-round pick. I just hope at Alabama we get the best out of him, and I can't wait to see what he does. He is a special and rare talent. Guys like this, you get them about once every 10 to 15 years. The last time I felt this way about defensive back was Minkah Fitzpatrick, and well, what do you know? That was about, what, 7-8 years ago? We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. And as far as it goes for the entire Alabama defense, I'm expecting a lot of them this year. I really am. Last year, it was a want. We wanted the defense to be good. But this year, it's not a want. It's a need. And I don't want to scare my Bama fans, and trust me, I'm not worried. I'd tell you if I'm worried, I'm not. We need the defense to play really good. We don't have Bryce Young. We don't have great wide receiver play. We don't have Jahmyr Gibbs. The offense is arguably going to be one of the worst we've had in a while. And that doesn't mean it's going to be bad compared to the rest, but look at what we've had in the past 4 to 5 years. Our past 4 quarterbacks are starting in the NFL. Think about it. So when I say our offense isn't going to be as good, think about what I'm comparing it to. But my point is, our defense needs to step it up this year. Maybe I shouldn't expect a lot, but I am. That's the standard. I'm tired of giving up 40 points a game. I'm tired of giving up first down after first down after first down. I'm tired of it. Last year was embarrassing. It was pitiful. And I need to calm down before I go on a rant about the defense, because I can't tell you enough how mad the defense made me last year. I tell you this much, and we'll end it off here. We need to be better. And I firmly believe Caleb Downs here is going to be a big part in that. If Caleb Downs lives up to the hype, we're going to be really good. If he doesn't, we'll probably be really bad on defense. I would like to assume, though, Caleb Downs will be really dang good, and I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts down below. But